My problem is that they've casted a big actor, well, a relatively popular actor in Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, young Nathan Drake, and people keep bringing up and going, well, he's not playing adult Nathan Drake, he's playing the younger Nathan Drake, so it isn't that big of a deal. He suits that character. The problem I have, and I've brought this up with many people, and I don't see people, like a lot of people have agreed with me, but I don't think that certain people get it in their skulls that if this is successful, they will not be making a sequel that stars an older Nathan Drake, because no Hollywood studio in their right mind would greenlight or would make a sequel to a movie franchise and replace the actors that were successful if this does become successful in the first movie, because they're going to bring back Tom Holland, they're going to bring back Mark Wahlberg if they're contractually they want to be back, and we're going to get another pint-sized Nathan Drake movie in Uncharted 2. You know, unless we wait 20 years and Tom Holland looks a little bit older and looks a little bit more gruffer and bigger. To me, it's just mainly down to casting, because I haven't seen any trailers, I haven't seen the movie, and people will say, well, you have to wait to see that. Just based on the casting, I think it's terrible casting, and it's a bad idea for a movie itself to have young Nathan Drake be the entire story for the movie. It's like, why would you really want to see a young Bruce Wayne movie? Would you like to see a young James Bond? Maybe that might sort of work in a weird way, but there's so many characters that if you say they're going to make a movie about, like young Indiana Jones is another one. No, we want to see Harrison Ford. If you don't have Harrison Ford, just don't bother making it. What do you think, Nate? Sorry, I was going to call you Nathan. What do you think, JC, about this? The idea, more so the idea that they're going to make a whole movie about young Nathan Drake when that was a minor part of the games, and the fact that people go, well, he's playing young Nathan Drake, he's not playing the old one. Do you agree with me that they're not going to change Tom Holland in this role? They're not going to cast an older one in the future, or am I completely wrong on that?
I don't think you're completely wrong on that at all. No, I think that when this does happen, or if it does well and a sequel does get the green light, I think that they have to bring back the returning stars. Like, they can't just do Uncharted 2, the movie, and obviously it's not going to be based on Uncharted 2, the game, but like, they're not going to like completely recast every single character and like, okay, well, here's current day these guys now. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, if like it's not one of those kind of weird kind of ensemble of things where every movie stands on its own without being like a continuation. It's not like it's True Detective where a story is there, it's done, and it's wrapped up in one season, and then the next season follows a completely different story that's completely unrelated. And it's not like that kind of anthology sort of thing. It's clearly following Nathan Drake. Like, I am kind of maybe perhaps the vast minority in saying that doing a young Nathan Drake thing could be interesting. But the thing that's kind of putting me off, and I think you got close to hitting the nail on the head with this, is that the casting is just not there, but also, like, you look at this and that it's exclusively going to be young Nathan Drake, it's going to be young Victor Sullivan, and it's going to be young everyone else that's related in the cast. But if they renamed this movie to be anything else other than Uncharted, then it's going to be just another treasure hunter adventure movie. It could get away with not being called Uncharted and it would be totally fine. It would stand okay on its own. But just, it has this IP attached to it, and all of a sudden, just like, that brings a certain level of expectations that they appear to not be willing to fulfill.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nathan Drake is a really, really interesting and kind of entertaining, funny, complex and interesting character. Young Nathan Drake, because he's just a kid, isn't that interesting or complex. his dark humor, his all that stuff. It's just not going to be there. I mean, the fan casting that he even made his own fan movie. Nathan Fillion is one of those castings that's just because it looks the right way, people will go. It doesn't mean it's going to be the right casting. But we've seen him in that. I'm sure you've seen that fan movie Nathan Fillion was in doing Uncharted. He was just superb. He's exactly what Nathan Drake is. This kind of smart arse, kind of all over the place. Good guy, but kind of all over the place. A little bit insane at some points. Some of the stuff he does in the game and the lengths he goes to do things. All that stuff to me is just going to be missing from the movie, because Tom Holland, he is young Nathan Drake. He's a young kid. He looks younger than I think he actually is. But to me, it's just a missed opportunity. And as I said before, if it does well, we're going to be getting more of the same. And again, Mark Wahlberg is Sully is just that's another whole kettle of fish, and I think that's terrible casting. That's just lazy casting. That's somebody that said themselves, well, we have to get another big name. Let's just pick Mark Wahlberg because he'll do it, and people know who he is. There's just no thought process at all. For all I criticize the Last of Us saga franchise, at least their casting for the Last of Us TV show, they're getting talented people that resemble and I feel will fit the cast. I mean, they didn't get the kid from. They didn't get somebody from Superbad to be Joel, or they didn't get Julia Roberts to be Ellie. They didn't do some weird, crazy, dumbass casting. They got people that looked like or not even that they look completely like the characters in the games, but just good casting and interesting casting and just doing it right, which I don't think Uncharted has done. But anyway,